Hello and welcome to New Mexico Rising. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to bring people from across the country to come onto the show to talk to me about cool things we could do right here in New Mexico. On this week's wonderful program, we got this.
It's a great make-ahead recipe because it'll allow you to have more time with your family and friends.
You know, all that and more right here on New Mexico Rising. Is there a secret to shedding pounds, boosting health without medications, and only following a plant-based diet? Well, Dr. Neil Barnard unveils his game-changing approach in the Power Foods diet. So alongside him is Shawne Hayes, is here to share her weight loss journey of losing about 100 pounds by embracing plant power. Welcome to the show, you two.
Great to be with you today.
Okay. Why is a plant-based diet so effective, and how can certain foods like spur on weight loss?
Well, we've always known that people following diets with vegetables and fruits and other plant-based foods tend to get lots of fiber that helps tame the appetite. But scientific studies have weighed in with a whole new side of this, and that is specific foods, certain spices like cinnamon or ginger or even hot peppers, actually have one of three effects. Either they tame your appetite without so many calories, you feel full, you stop eating, or in some cases they trap calories so that they actually go out your digestive tract before you even have absorbed them, and yes, you are flushing the calories down the toilet. Or third, they boost your metabolism. So you're burning calories like you did when you were 16. Specific foods do this, and the key is to know which those foods are, plug them into your breakfast, and let the foods do the work.
And can eating plant-based be more effective than weight loss medications and those trendy ones?
Over the long run, yeah, great question. Over the long run, yes. The weight loss drugs tend to cause weight loss that's really striking in the first little bit, but oftentimes people plateau, they don't go any further, and the cost is about $15,000 a year or a little bit more, which is disturbing to people, let alone side effects. But with healthy foods, there are foods that will tame your appetite by effectively the same mechanism, but they don't cost anything, the food you're going to eat anyway. And in fact, the savings from these foods ends up being about $500 of savings every year. So with the healthy foods, no bad side effects. In fact, the side effects are good ones. Your cholesterol comes down, your energy goes up, you feel better.
Okay, what about some of those power foods that you're saying?
Okay, I mentioned briefly cinnamon. Cinnamon has been shown to stimulate the metabolism a little bit, so you burn calories faster. Blueberries do much the same. So let's say this morning I'm going to make some French toast with cinnamon on it, and I top it with some blueberry syrup. That's a power food. For lunch, let's say I make a chili. Instead of it being a ground beef greasy chili, I use certain black beans, put a little jalapenos in there because the capsaicins in the jalapenos stimulate your metabolism also. That's a power food. There are many, many others. Some are spices, some are actual foods. But if you do them, you don't have to count calories. You don't even have to exercise unless, of course, you want to.
Shawne, can you tell us your story and how you lost 100 pounds without medication?
Absolutely. So Dan, I'm someone who has dieted since I was an adolescent. You know, for years I counted calories and restricted and weighed food. And I was also dealing with a lot of chronic health problems over the years, including hypertension, elevated cholesterol, prediabetes, arthritis, PCOS. And I was very uncomfortable in my body and in a lot of pain physically. And so, I started, unfortunately, I had a health scare, which was a wake-up call for me. And from that moment, started to work with a health coach who started to introduce me more to a plant-based lifestyle. I started to learn about the benefits of these foods and started to gradually transition to eating them and adding them to my diet. And so what I started to notice over time is that I was losing weight without really even trying, if I'm honest. And then in addition to that, the more that I ate these foods, the more I started to notice my health issues started to dissipate. And so I went down this rabbit hole of wanting to know more about that connection between diet and disease and how food truly is like medicine.
All right, thank you two for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information?
Well, I hope people will go to our website. It's pcrm.org. That stands for Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, pcrm.org. And of course, the Power Foods Diet is anywhere books are sold.
The landscape of children's health insurance is evolving. In an essential update from the American Academy of Pediatrics, there's a spotlight on navigating health insurance for millions of children. With the landscape shifting, especially around Medicaid, knowing how to secure and maintain coverage for children is more critical than ever. Today, we have Avila Edwards, pediatrician and fellow of the American Academy of Pediatrics, with some vital advice for families and to help simplify the process and ensure children continue to receive the care they need. Welcome to the show, Dr. Kimberly Avila Edwards.
Good morning, Dan. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
All right, so what are some of the biggest concerns that you have about children losing Medicaid coverage?
As a pediatrician, the most significant concern for me is the disruption of access to essential health care for these children. Medicaid really plays a vital role in ensuring preventative care, timely treatment of illnesses, and management of chronic diseases. And all of these are so crucial for healthy development. There are administrative hurdles adding to the process that can really create delays and gaps in coverage, which potentially can lead to very serious health complications down the line. Another significant concern is the financial strain it places on families, as they may be forced to really shoulder the full cost of medical expenses without the safety net of Medicaid. Potentially, this can lead to financial hardships and increased stress for already vulnerable households.
So what are the potential health consequences for children who are uninsured?
So children who are uninsured could have delayed or missed preventative care, and this includes delays in immunization, well child checks and screenings, which can detect and help us address potential health issues very early on. The second is untreated illnesses and chronic conditions. Without access to affordable health care, illnesses can progress, leading to more severe complications and potentially even hospitalizations. And finally, I want to mention mental health concerns. The stress and anxiety associated with health concerns and financial strains can take a toll on children's mental well-being, which we know is already at risk.
So what advice do you have for families who are unsure about their children's Medicaid eligibility, or who've received those notices that say they're going to be disenrolled?
First, contact your local Medicaid agency. They can clarify eligibility and guide you through the renewal process. Secondly, seek assistance from patient advocates or community health centers, because these organizations can provide free or low-cost support in helping you navigate healthcare systems. Finally, and maybe most importantly, is please be proactive. If you receive a notice of disenrollment, please act quickly and respond within the time frame provided, even if you disagree with the decision. Responding allows you to maintain your appeal rights and potentially avoid a coverage gap. This also demonstrates your interest in maintaining your child's coverage.
Well, thank you, Dr. Edwards. Where can we go for more information?
To learn more, visit localhelp.healthcare.gov. Again, localhelp.healthcare.gov.
Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much.
In 2014, freelance journalist James Jim W. Foley was captured in Syria and publicly beheaded by ISIS after being held hostage for nearly 2 years. Jim's mother, Diane Foley, has made it her life mission to share her son's story and continue his legacy of moral courage. She's joining us now to talk about her book, American Mother, and the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation. Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Your son, Jim Foley, was tragically killed almost 10 years ago. What motivated you to write this book now?
Primarily to raise awareness. Shortly after Jim was beheaded in 2014 by ISIS, a dear friend did do a documentary called Jim, the James Foley Story. But now, 10 years later, a lot of people may have forgotten. And I want fellow Americans to know how U.S. nationals are, in fact, targeted when they travel internationally, and the progress our government has made, but continued challenges remain. So I just wanted to raise that awareness and invite anyone interested to help the work of the James Foley Foundation that helps innocent Americans come home, if you will.
And the book is titled American Mother. How do you believe your experiences as a mother influenced your perspective on your son's work and the events surrounding this capture?
I am the mother of 5 children. I think as mothers, we all want the best for our children. I think any of your listeners who are parents want our children to be safe and free. And we need to challenge our youth, I think, to seek to make a difference with their lives in our world. You know, bad things happen. It was horrific what happened to our son, but I know he would have wanted us to work to help our nation do better. in terms of bringing Americans home. And in fact, more than 100 U.S. nationals have returned home since Jim's murder in 2014. So our country is doing better in that regard.
So what do you hope readers who may not have experienced loss or conflict directly would take away from this book?
Well, I would hope any ordinary American realizes that they, in fact, can make a difference, to use their gifts for good, to challenge we have a motto of inspiring one another to moral courage in any way that we can make a difference for others. Jim felt that journalists, the best journalists, needed to have that moral courage to do the right thing in spite of the consequences. So that's what we're hoping, to challenge one another, and particularly our youth, to work for good in the world.
Is there anything else you'd like us to know about American Mother or your work at the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation?
Sure. I would like to invite your listeners to go to jamesfoleyfoundation.org to find out more about fellow Americans who are held hostage or wrongfully detained around the world, and ways to protect themselves when traveling internationally. And we invite anyone interested to receive a personalized copy of American Mother. And we really appreciate anyone interested in donating to the work of helping Americans in this through this ordeal. So we welcome and thank you, Dan, for your time.
Diane Foley, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you for your time, Dan.
As we gear up for spring, it's time to give our bathrooms a much-needed makeover. HGTV star and renovation expert Scott McGilvery is here to guide us through the process with tips on how Bath Fitter can help you achieve a beautiful, mess-free renovation in absolutely no time. So thanks for joining us this morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show, Dan.
All right. So what tips do you have for people who just want to spruce up their bathrooms without a heck of a lot of hassle?
Well, isn't that the dream come true? Having a transformation without all of the headaches. So it's possible. There are ways to do it. And after 20 years and 500 bathroom renovations on the shows, we're trying to give people the best possible solutions to, take the intimidation out of the renovation and help people take back their bath. So as you said, Bath Fitter is a great first step, considering that the tub and shower is the nucleus of the space. That's where you need to start. And that's where a lot of the problems can come from. That's where a lot of the expenses can come from. So working with Bath Fitter, they can assess the space, they can do small repairs, and they can clean it all up. And as you said, they can do the transformation in 24 hours, which is, something that most people are worried about, is losing their bathroom for a long period of time.
How does Bath Fitter make the renovation process quick and maybe less anxiety-inducing?
Well, listen, bathrooms are one of the most used rooms in the house. You can't really afford to have it out of commission for a long period of time. And Bath Fitter has recognized that. They come in, assess, and custom design your tub over tub solution, right? You get to pick what it is you're looking for. There's a variety of options. And the actual install is done in 24 hours or less. I think that's what's key. And without the demolition, there's no waste, there's no mess. That's where the stress gets removed from the entire process. So for those people who have been fearing or have had anxiety about taking on a bathroom renovation, this is where you want to start.
When people are renovating their bathrooms, what are some of the mistakes that people tend to do from your experience, and what can people do to try to avoid them?
Yeah, Dan, people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to bathroom renovations, and the biggest one is they start demolishing everything. They start tearing things out. They make a huge mess just for us to come in and literally start putting things back right where they were. So you do need to know what your options are. Focus on the tub and shower first, because that is the largest part of the renovation. It is the nucleus of the space. If we can do a Bath Fitter solution for the tub and shower surround, you're going to save a tremendous amount of money and get the end result you're looking for. Then replacing the vanity and the toilet are much less invasive. We can find something that works together harmoniously so that you have this seamless space, which is the end result you're looking for: less time, less money, less work, less stress, and a lifetime warranty.
Scott McGillivray, thanks for joining me this morning. One more time, where can we go for more information?
Yeah, you can start your bathroom renovation decisions at bathfitter.com. And you can watch me on HGTV to get new episodes and get inspired with some great ideas.
Thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
No problem. We'll see you soon.
You know, for many people, brunch is their favorite meal because it combines the best of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So joining us today is a two-time Food Network winner and celebrity chef Palak Patel, who's here with some tasty tips to kick off National Brunch Month. Welcome to the show, Chef. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well.
All right. So you're an Atlanta restaurant owner, a winner of 2 top Food Network shows, Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay. Why is brunch so popular?
Well, to me, brunch is just another time to get your friends and family together and spend a lot of quality hours together. So I have a new cookbook coming out called Food is Love. And in there, I share brunch recipes that really just combine what you said, the best of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that you can bring everybody to the table. And today I would love to share with you some recipes and some ideas that help you create a unique menu to celebrate National Brunch Month.
So what is one item you should always have pretty much on a brunch menu?
Well, if you're at my house, brunch always starts with a freshly brewed cup of coffee. That's how I welcome all my guests. And if you're looking for a crowd pleaser, check out the Starbucks limited edition at-home spring coffees, including the new brown sugar cinnamon flavored coffee that's also available in cold brew concentrate. I love things on ice. And they've also brought back 2 returning seasonal favorites, the Spring Day Blend and the Toasted Coconut Mocha flavored coffee, available in K-Cup or ground. To me, coffee and brunch kind of go hand in hand. And since the season started, I've incorporated the Spring Day Blend into my morning ritual. Sometimes I'll have it iced and sometimes I'll have it hot. And you can find all of these at your local grocery store or online for a limited time.
Please share another suggestion for brunch.
Here are some tips that are really going to help you up-level your brunch. I love putting together a charcuterie board. And on that board, I add some Sunsweet Probiotic Plus prunes. These are great to add some sweetness to those salty cheeses and the spicy dips. Next up, we're going to elevate your typical brunch drink by making a mule mocktail using Sunsweet Amazing Prune Juice. Now, this mocktail I served with a delicious prune cinnamon swirl bread. And if you're not already doing it, you should definitely be baking with prunes. They not only add a sweetness to all of the baked dishes, but they add a little bit of moisture. And so with all of these tips, you can be sure to bring home some of that feel-good brunch vibe with Sunsweet Amazing Prunes, Sunsweet Amazing Prune Juice, and the Probiotic Plus prunes. Kind of feel like they are the champions of brunch.
So what is your favorite recipe for brunch?
I love making a eggless frittata. It's a recipe out of my cookbook, and the eggless frittata has chickpea flour, potatoes, peppers, and onions with spices. And it's a great make-ahead recipe because it'll allow you to have more time with your family and friends. Then when it's ready, you kind of bring it to the table for those oohs and ahs.
And what's another go-to ingredient that pretty much makes up for a pretty good or great brunch?
Yeah, at my brunch table, I love having a big bowl of fresh fruit, whatever's in season, and I'll add mint and a little bit of maple syrup to the chopped fruit. The maple syrup helps bring out the natural sweetness of the fruit, and it's kind of a refreshing thing to add to complement the savory things on the table.
And we got to get to a brunch desserts. Is there such a thing, or do you have any suggestions?
Of course there is, and I'm a Georgia girl, so I have on my brunch table a peach and semolina cake. This cake can also be made ahead of time. You can serve it warm or hot, and I'd love to put a dollop of ice cream on it. And when peaches aren't in season, you can use frozen peaches. So there's no reason not to have a dessert on your brunch table.
All right, Chef Patel, where can someone get more brunch month's inspirations?
Yeah, you can get more info on tipsontv.com.
Chef Patel, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
In a revealing study, the intricate link between relationship status and financial behavior among women shows how life's transitions can deeply influence financial decisions. Connie Weaver, Chief Marketing Officer of Equitable, brings both personal insights and professional acumen to this discussion. She unpacks how each relationship phase, like being single, married, with divorce, widow, invites women to reassess and take charge of their financial well-being. Drawing from the study's findings, Connie offers essential advice for women seeking to enhance their financial confidence and control, and her expertise provides a roadmap for navigating financial wellness at every stage of life. And Connie, I know it says women, women, women in my intro. I need help too. Welcome to the show, Connie. How are you?
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Okay, so why is it important to understand how and why financial attitudes and behaviors change throughout life?
Well, first of all, women are a powerful force financially in this country now and will even be more so in the future. As a matter of fact, more than half of the clients we serve today are women. But the reason we undertook this study had to do with really understanding relationships, but more importantly, what changes when women move in and out of relationships, whether they're single, married, divorced, or widowed. And frankly, it's those changes that have a big impact on the way they plan, the way they engage, and most importantly, on their confidence.
So what are some key findings from the Women, Money, and Relationships study?
Well, out of this rich study, we had many findings. But one of the ones that really popped out was that of all the women surveyed, 2/3 of them wished they had been involved earlier in understanding and managing their money, and often. Secondly, women in relationships, partnered women, married women, they have the strongest level of confidence. But if there's a change in relationship status, such as a divorce or a widow, someone goes into widowhood, that confidence drops like a rock. They wish they had known more about their financial situation. They wish they had had a seat at the table, had a voice. And even though they didn't understand everything, had wished they had asked more questions, leaned in. As a matter of fact, 60% of women feel that while they were sitting at the table, they really weren't heard. Third, single women. While their confidence varies, more of them need to engage with financial advisors.
So what advice do you have for women who want to improve their financial wellness?
Well, there are a couple of key things to think about. First and foremost, take an active seat at the table. Be engaged, go out of your comfort zone, ask questions. Do not delegate the responsibility of short-term and long-term planning to a partner. Number two, know your numbers. How much you have, how much you need, where you stand, and how that works for you both in the short term and in the long term. And third, and most importantly, you have to have a plan. Many women are engaging with financial advisors to get a plan. As a matter of fact, the study showed us that 72% of women who were actively engaged with advisors have a written plan. That drops dramatically for those who are not engaged with an advisor, down to 16%. All in all, it's all about engagement. And we see that when that engagement occurs with advisors, 92% of women are saving for retirement. So my best advice is get it in writing, have a plan, and engage. Own it.
Connie Weaver, thanks for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information on this?
You can go to equitable.com to get information on the study and much more about Equitable and other relevant information as you start to think about your financial journey.
Connie Weaver, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Dan.
In today's flavor-filled adventure, we're diving into a smoky world of barbecue with the maestro himself. Jonathan BBQ Jones. Live from the heart of his backyard cookout corner, Jonathan is here to help demystify the art of smoking foods, transforming you from a casual griller to a pitmaster in the making. Whether it's ribs that fall off the bone or a brisket that melts in your mouth, let's get ready to impress your guests with recipes that sizzle. Welcome to the show, Jonathan Jones. How are you, my friend?
Thank you so much for having me, Dan.
All right.
Doing good.
All right. Can you tell us the difference between like smoking your food and grilling it? I know it's a basic question, but not everyone knows it, and including me.
Well, that's a great question because it's often debated in the barbecue community, but there's two main basics, and it's temperature and flavor. So when you're when you're smoking, that's more of what we call low and slow, the lower temperature and the longer cook. So usually around 225 degrees to 275 degrees. That's when you're gonna get that smoky, natural hardwood flavor. Versus grilling, that's what I like to say, get your sizzle on, right? That's when you're above 400 degrees. You get a good sear on whatever you're cooking. You get that char flavor, great for steaks, burgers, those types of things.
All right, so what are some recipes that are perfect for this season's barbecues, at least?
Yeah, coming into this season, you're definitely going to want to look into making up your ribs. You can pair that with your favorite barbecue sauce. And then we also have kebabs too. Steak kebabs are a crowd pleaser. You can pair them up with your favorite veggies, make it colorful, have fun with it. And then further on, we got our chicken wings too. And chicken wings are awesome because it's like a tailgate and essential for everybody. You can switch up the flavor profiles. You can go with rub. You can go dry rub. You can go with sauce. You can do a lemon pepper garlic mixture. You can get really wild with it.
So what are your top tips for getting beginners to like smoking foods with confidence, at least?
Yeah, definitely. So top tips is going to find a grill or smoker that you can easily control the temperature on. You also want to make sure that you find the right one that can hold enough charcoal for you. And you also want to find something that's quick and easy to clean up. My go-to for the longest time has been the Tahoma 900. You can see this beautiful grill off to the side here. This is amazing. It has the easy-to-load hopper, quick clean ashtray, and furthermore, it also has the Oklahoma Joe's app. You can control temperatures and monitor your food all through the app. It's loaded with a bunch of recipes and walkthroughs and just a ton of great resources for beginners, which is going to take out the intimidation factor of barbecue. And nowadays, more than ever, you don't have to be a pit master to make these awesome flavors. You can make them at home, right from your backyard.
Jonathan BBQ Jones, where can we go for more information and learn more about it? That's
right. For more information, head over to oklahomajoes.com. And if you're on the hunt for your next smoker or grill, check out Lowe's.com. They got the Tahoma 900 on there right now for y'all.
Oh, awesome. All right. Yeah, I need a new grill. Mine, the wheels and stuff broke off it, so it's like falling apart. So, hey, maybe I will get one of these. And that is it for New Mexico Rising. It's so sad we got to go, but till next week, we got more cool things headed your way. Until next week, that was the show we like to call New Mexico Rising.